everybody. Welcome to Showshannah Rose radio program. I'm your host and your teacher, your friend, your interviewer, and Finkelman. Oh, we have another anointed man of God. The Lord sends the most anointed ministries, which you hear me say every time I come on the set, and he does. And he's absolutely wonderful. And today is a little unusual. We're going to talk about the Holocaust. Did it happen? Did it not happen? This man of God, Saul Pitcheon, his beautiful wife Terry, he's a Jewish believer. His mother was in Auschwitz, right, in the Holocaust. She's in heaven now. Yep. And I had the honor of meeting her, and we're going to talk a little bit about that. We're going to talk about,
liked you very much, too.
And she had discernment.
She had
that woman was sharp.
Yes, she was.
You know, because I'm a seer, I saw inside of her. I thought, boy, if there's anything, she'll know it.
Yep.
But she liked me.
Yep.
And so I liked her, and I wanted to interview her, but it didn't happen. But we have her son, and I have the memory of her, which I can portray to you. And we're going to talk about saving lives. No abortion. New Solutions, New Life Solutions is the name of the ministry, one of the ministries that God has given this man of God. And so, if you want to find me on Facebook, beloved of God. Find me on Facebook, find me on Showshannah Ministries International, find me on, I'm all over the internet, okay, School of Prophetic Fire, Showshannah Rose radio program, YouTube, our new books are coming out, and lots is going on, percolating for the Lord. And if you want to sow a financial seed, God will bless you. It'll leave your hand, beloved, but it will never leave your life. Amen? And so you can go to paypal.com and you can sow. And you can give a financial, say, well, what does that mean? That means give a financial gift. No amount is too small, okay? And help us continue doing what we're doing. It will help us pierce the darkness with the light of God and His Word. Amen. And so I wanted to give the man of God all the time that he needs, and God will speak through him. And I really love he and his wife. They're wonderful, wonderful people. They've devoted their lives to saving babies. And we're going to talk about how New Life Solutions came into being. And I'm so glad that you tuned in today. So Saul, my friend, introduce yourself to our audience, and the wisdom of God, let it pour out of you, and let us know what God has done through you and your wife, and how it came to be, how you got hold of God, and why you saved how many babies?
Well, close to 10,000 babies have been rescued and saved through New Life Solutions. It's a family of ministries with a focus on saving babies, saving souls, and reaching teenagers, ministering to women and men who've had abortions in their past. We have a residential program for single moms. We even have a birth center.
Everything
so
I see here.
Very comprehensive approach to the outreach of ministering to the women and couples who have crisis pregnancies.
Right, where they want to abort the baby, and you counsel them. And you know, he and his wife Terry, they do this on a free will basis to the patient, to the client. And offerings come in, services. Businesses come in. If you're a businessman or a businesswoman, you know that you can write it off. Not that you do it for that, but you can. If you want to sow a large amount to save babies, and you heard what the man and woman of God do, you're going to find out how to reach them. And they're having a fundraiser dinner in November 5th, did you tell me?
7th. November
7th and November 9th. November 7th in Tampa, November 9th, and they're going to have Mr. Bob Goff speaking. And they're going to talk. You're going to find out the heart of this man and woman of God. So, without further ado, tell us what you do. Tell us about your mom.
Let's start there. Let's start there. I mean, all of us started with mom.
With mom.
And both. Just so you know, our background. I'm from a little town in Greece called Thessalonica. You're looking at a Thessalonian Greek Jew. There's a remnant of us around.
Socrates was just there.
Yes, Socrates was one special man.
Yeah, he's a special man.
So both my parents were also born in Thessaloniki, we call it.
Are you listening?
And those of you from Europe would understand that.
Yeah.
And my mother was about 14 years old when the Nazis just overran the country of Greece.
So she was in the Holocaust.
And so, for 2 years, they occupied the country and told them, nothing would happen to them. They would just submit to to the reign of the Germans, and that they would be given property, land and homes in Poland. 2 years later, here's my mom, 16 years old, and she and her family, over 200 relatives, where a number of them were put on trains to go to Poland, only they weren't passenger trains. When they got into town and saw that they were cattle cars, and they saw that they were lied to, and so there was my mother with 5 sisters and her mom. Her dad had already been killed, and on that train for 8 days with hardly any water or food. And when they got off the train, and they separated my mother because she was older, and they put her in this is in Auschwitz, and put her in a work camp, okay, in Block 10, where they experimented on the women. And her mom and sisters went this way and figured that they went to the gas chambers that day. And so here's my mom.
Dr. Mengele?
Dr. Mengele was the doctor who experimented on a lot of the women. And here's my mother, again, at 16 years old, barely 16.
Are you listening to this?
She finds herself on the operating table.
Oh,
and Dr. Mengele himself removed one of her ovaries.
Without anesthesia.
Without anesthesia.
They did. That was the doctor, if you don't know. For those who don't think the Holocaust happened, it did happen. This man is a product of that. Dr. Death, they called him. And they would experiment on people, Jewish people, without anesthesia to see how they would react.
Yeah. Yeah.
Terrible things.
And they gave him shock treatments and everything else.
Inhumane.
There's some things my mother never shared.
Right.
And but there she was. He removed one of her ovaries, ready to remove the other one.
So she couldn't have Jewish children.
So she couldn't have children. That's right. Jewish children. You're right.
Jewish children. Right.
But God intervened. The Allied forces were bombing sporadically.
Right.
And that moment, they were bombing, and so Dr. Mengele and the Nazi soldiers ran for cover, and the imprisoned Jewish doctor that they had there, an older gentleman, Mengele told him, remove the other ovary. Well, he left with the soldiers. The doctor looked at my mother and says, young lady, I am not going to remove that other organ.
A Jewish doctor, because Jews believe in Torah and they believe in life.
Amen. That's right. And he says, young lady says, I want you to do 2 things. One, I want you to hide your cycle each month. And secondly, remember me when you have children.
She was 16.
Yeah, and I'm the oldest of 4 sons. And so I've said for years that my mother survived.
And name.
And and the doctor said, name your first after me. And so
and his
she
name
did.
was Saul.
Yeah, it was actually Samuel. And so I'm Solomon Samuel Pitcheon.
Isn't that beautiful? Solomon Samuel. What a beautiful, beautiful name. He was a twinkle in God's eye at this point.
That's right.
His mother was 16.
Yeah.
But God had a plan. This is so miraculous and so good, and all these babies are being saved, and God provides the funds, and now you're getting an opportunity to partake in meeting this wonderful man and his beautiful wife. She'll be here the next time, okay? Yeah. And so it's miraculous, because God's about life.
He is, and I've said for years, Ann, that my mother survived the Holocaust of World War II, and God has had my wife Terry and I involved in the Holocaust of America here, and that's the Holocaust of abortion, in helping save lives for the last 21 years. Now, the ministry started in 1985.
And it's in Tampa Bay, Florida.
Tampa Bay, Florida, in the total Tampa Bay area. We have 4 medical clinics, 2 in Tampa, 2 over here near the water in Pinellas County. We have a birth center. We have a residential program. We have all these things to provide the support that women and couples need to choose life. To choose life for their children. And eternal life for themselves.
That's right. So they get the whole package. And his mother, Jermaine, okay? His mother was I had the honor of meeting her when she spoke down in Bradenton at a Messianic congregation, because this is a Messianic ministry, so I was invited. And that's when I met Saul that day, and I met his mother. His mother was 81 and she was still swimming in her pool.
Yeah.
She said to me, I'm 80, she was a horse, that woman. She wrote a book, Tiger of Auschwitz, The Tiger of Auschwitz.
It's called Undaunted. So
Undaunted.
if anyone wants her book, or you can go on Amazon, order her book, and called Undaunted, The Tiger of Auschwitz.
And that's her story, and it has a picture of the concentration camp on it, and you'll be able to read in detail how she hid her cycle and how God protected her with family. She didn't have a family. God hid her with different families, and when she got married, she bore 4 sons, and her first son, Saul, she named after him. Now, after that, the Jewish doctor that saved her ovary. And so, it's a remarkable story in the plan of God, how this man of God, he was a twinkle in God's eye, and his mother raised him. She didn't know they were going to have the saving babies, you know, the New Life Solutions, but she raised him, and she told her story to all her sons, okay?
Yeah.
And so we want to share with you how the moving of God, you may think that God doesn't know where you are. From the foundation of the world, God has a plan.
That's right.
Okay? And then Saul was named after that Jewish doctor, as I said. And then when he got married, he met Terry, and she was the one that she wanted to begin the center. And it's on, and you think to yourself, Jermaine was 16, and now you're doing this in a different country, but God. Does God not hold the hearts of men? So, does God not hold the hearts of men?
He does. God, He ordained this from the beginning of time, and He has that calling on everyone who's watching this or listening to this.
Yeah.
God has a calling on your life.
Yeah.
You know, and that's just like we always talk about, that these innocent children that come in, these moms who come in and wondering whether they're going to carry that child or have an abortion, that God has a plan and a purpose and a calling and a destiny for every one of those children.
They come from Him.
They come from Him.
They come out of Him.
No matter what the situation
That's
is.
right.
And if God can raise Jesus from the dead,
That's right.
nothing is impossible.
That's right.
So when things are looking impossible, that's when you walk by faith and not by sight.
That's
not
right.
by what that culture says. Because our culture and so many of the world countries promote abortion as birth control.
Yeah.
And that's not of God.
It's horrific.
It's horrific. So the answer is, first of all, is surrendering to Christ, Yeshua, being in God's Word, learning those principles, and whenever there is a difficulty or that crisis or that unplanned pregnancy, there's pregnancy centers all over the world. All over the world. Romania has one of the highest abortion rates. There's pregnancy centers there. So God has strategically placed centers that, like ours.
In your city, too. You're watching from around the world, of course.
Yeah. So nothing is impossible with God. Nothing. You know, and I've worked with hundreds and hundreds. I mean, we have ministered to over 1,000 moms and families. There have been nearly 10,000 babies saved that are documented. Then it's 2 or 3 times more than that, because we never, you know, you can't always keep up with all of them.
Through New Life Solutions.
Through New Life Solutions.
Which is the name of your clinic.
Yeah, well, that's our umbrella name.
Okay.
Then we have
the mama company.
That's the mama company, and then we have More to Life Abstinence Education. We're preventing teen pregnancies through our More to Life outreach. We've spoken almost 175,000 students in our public schools and private schools and Christian schools.
Teaching them abstinence.
Oh, you're teaching them why wait? Why wait? What's the benefit of waiting?
Right.
What's marriage all about? And all these things. So my people die from lack of knowledge.
So if they have a youth that would be interested, that they have, sometimes youth can be rebellious.
Oh, yeah.
So can their youth find you or sit in your classes?
It's all over the Tampa Bay area, but even throughout the nation, there's outreaches in communicating and ministering and meeting the needs of teenagers.
And you go into churches? And
we go all over. Churches and other venues. What I was going to say is that I have spoken to hundreds and hundreds of women and couples who have chosen life for their baby and never regretted it. But I've also spoken to dozens and dozens and dozens of women and men who chose abortion and regret it to this day.
Oh, yeah.
Now the solution, that's why we call New Life Solutions, is our passages, abortion recovery outreach. And it's headed up by Susan, who's an LCSW.
What
and
is that? Explain to
a
her.
licensed clinical social worker. And what we do is we provide abortion recovery groups for women, and I've trained men to do this. And with 62 million abortions since 1973, when here in America, when Roe versus Wade became legal, Supreme Court decision that made it legal for women and men to choose abortion for any reason over the 9-month period. Now some of the states are trying to back that off, but this is not of God.
No.
So, and it's our culture. It is murder. It is murder. So, so what we're doing, along with, and I don't want it just to be about us, the pro-life movement, the pro-family movement, the values that need to be put out there, and we as believers have to take a stand for righteousness.
Are you
take
listening?
For life.
You vote for candidates.
And vote for candidates that are pro-family, pro-life.
And anti-abortion.
Yeah, all the way.
All the way.
God will honor it. You will be blessed if you do it His way. You know, one of my favorite proverbs, and we all know this Proverbs, Proverbs 3, 5, and 6. You know, trust the Lord with all your heart, lean not on your own understanding, and in all your ways acknowledge Him, and He will direct your path.
He will direct your path.
The Jewish version? The Jewish
there's
version
always
is...
There's always the Jewish
that's
version.
Right. The Jewish version is, don't do it your way, do it Yahweh's. Okay? Don't do it your way, do it Yahweh's. And we follow those biblical principles, and God will never let us down. He'll never let us down.
So faithful.
He is so faithful. Even when things, again, look impossible, that's when He enters in. And many times He is testing our faith. Okay? So if we have an unplanned pregnancy, or we have an illness that comes on us, or for me, recently, I was in a plane crash 5 months ago today. 5 months ago today. And in spite of that, I'm telling you, I've got 6 fused vertebrae in my back.
You drowned in there.
Almost drowned. And
water.
2 7-inch rods and 5 titanium screws. So if on a bad day I may have a screw loose, okay? But God. And the scriptures that came to me after having gone through that accident in Alaska is Isaiah 43, and this isn't just for me, for all those who are viewing.
Take it,
beloved. It says, "Listen to the Lord who created you. O Israel, the one who formed you says, do not be afraid, for I have ransomed you. I have called you by name. You were mine. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown." Do you see that? Isaiah 43, 1 through 3. And that's what God is trying to tell us. We can be drowning in debt. We can be drowning because of illness or an injury. You know, we can be drowning for all these heartache,
trauma,
divorce, trauma, all these things. But God is greater. He is greater. And again, when we are going through those tough times, we can either run towards God or run away from God. You and I have known, run towards the Lord. You almost drowned in an accident years ago.
I did drown.
You did drown.
My spirit came out of my body. Some of you know, I haven't really told it publicly. And I'm going to tell it on a different video, but my spirit came out of my body, and God saved my life. Amen. And so I know the supernatural, Romans 8:11, the same power that raised Jesus from the dead, quickened my mortal body, snatched me from the river, underneath the rock. I was in the sinkhole, I was told, and I was dead, and my spirit was out of my body. And so God snatched me from the hands of hell and quickened my mortal body and raised me up, put me back in my body so I could do the call of God. And that was, probably, oh my gosh, it was 1988. Today's 2019, a long time ago. And God taught me how to hear His voice. And keep watching, because we're going to have testimony on that. We're going to interview, actually, Saul and I were talking about it. We're going to interview people that have near-death experiences. And we're going to interview them and I'm going to invite Saul back, and I know others that have been near-death experiences. So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, contact me and find me on Facebook, and we can interview you if you come out of your body, or if you died and went to heaven.
Yeah.
And so we're going to talk about that, because I've had my own experience.
Yeah,
and
you have. Yeah, yeah.
it was very, very traumatic. And this man, a guy, was stuck under the water. You know the movie Castaway? You see that movie? When that plane crashed and he was under the water.
Yep.
And it was blowing up, fire was, the engines were blowing up, and God saved him. I believe God saved him. He should have been dead. The engine was blowing up underwater, the fire, and the life raft, he hid under it, and it rose to the surface and saved his life. It threw him away from the plane.
Yep.
And that's how, he fell asleep. When he woke up, he was on the island.
That's right.
But see, the devil, he's not about life.
No.
In any form.
No.
He comes to kill, steal, and destroy.
Yeah. John 10:10, and that's really what he did with my mother.
Couldn't do it.
And over 6 million innocent Jewish men, women, children, and preborn perished. All right, but God. And my mother's faith, her strong desire to live, along with the other survivors, they persevered. And here we are in today's times.
Saving babies.
We've got to persevere. We have to.
The very thing. Look at the paradox. This very thing that doctor wanted to stop his mother, Saul's mother, Germaine, from having Jewish babies. God has raised up. I'm going to show you these pictures here. New Life Solutions Pregnancy Center, More to Life Youth Development Program. Another venue is Women's Place, a medical clinic. Another one is Passengers of Hope, abortion recovery. Another one is Walk for Life, a benefit dinner provision, which we're going to talk about, fundraiser. Another is Breath of Life, Women's Health and Birth Center. And another is Shepherd's Village, Single Parent Outreach. So New Life Solutions is the mama company. And God has raised that up, from a doctor that tried to stop babies from coming through that his mother, 16-year-old, took her ovaries, but God had the planes fly overhead in World War II, and he got scared. How many know the Bible says the wicked run for fear, but the righteous are bold as a lion? The Jewish doctor didn't run. Why didn't he run? Because he wasn't evil. He didn't do evil. He had nothing to fear. So he said, I'm going to save. Mangale left, and he said, the Jewish doctor said to Saul's mother, I'm not going to take your other ovary. Hide your menstrual cycle. And when you have children, young lady, she was 16, name your firstborn after me. How did God know her firstborn was going to be a boy? There he is. His name is Saul. Okay? Saul Samuel?
Yeah, Solomon Samuel Pitcheon.
What a beautiful name is that. Royalty, really, from God. And so God had the plan. We're going to talk about Psalm 139 before this program's over, how God had the plan. So let me show you. Look at that. Look at that mother with her beautiful baby that was born. Okay? Let me show you the baby herself.
And she's finishing up college right now.
The mother.
That mom is finishing up college.
And you're sponsoring her. And people that give are helping build lives, are helping God build lives. And God will bless. This life is not about us.
And also help the cycle of having those unplanned pregnancies, because they're being discipled themselves.
They get
and
saved.
Then they get saved, and they go, our focus is to get them in church. So the church community and Messianic community can bring them into their families, disciple them, and start living a healthy life, making healthy choices.
They're beautiful. Look at this. Her name is Amari, born June 24, 2016. Look at that baby.
She's beautiful.
Oh, she's beautiful. And look at this one. Who is this?
Family.
Who is this little doll? Naomi Stories, her mother?
And she is
Naomi Grace, born on February 3rd, 2019. Look at this little doll, saving lives. Look at her. Oh my! Look at that face.
And everyone has a testimony. Every one of these children that we've had the privilege of photographing, they have their story, and it costs about $1,500, like I said, to help save a child, to provide the free pregnancy test, STD testing, the sonogram. We do well women care. And then, of course, all the other things is mentoring, coaching, what you and I would call discipling, and then getting them over to the local church to bring them into their family and then raise them up. And now you have a one-parent family that is strong, and others that have the father and the mother coming together and encourage them to marry and do it right. And so you've ended the cycle. So when people help us, it isn't just that one generation. It's generational assistance and going from the world into the Word. And now you see a transformed life.
That's because
thousands of them.
Isn't that wonderful? That's because that Jewish doctor loved life. Oh, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Live TV here.
Yeah.
Yes. That Jewish doctor didn't take his mother's one ovary. This is why all these babies are being saved, while Saul and his wife have dedicated their life to saving babies and teaching them about God. And do you want to speak more about these, or would you know what I'd like you to do, Saul? If you would read, people say, "Oh, I don't believe that." Let's talk about Psalm 139, about while we were in our mother's womb, God had a plan for us. You want to start here, if that's okay? Yeah.
Okay.
Oh Lord, thou hast searched.
Okay, so if you go right from Psalm.
What would you like to do?
Yeah, let's go over
whatever you like to
where
do.
It says here. It says here, for thou hast possessed my reins, thou hast covered me in my mother's womb.
Verse 13.
That's right, verse 13, 139, verse 13. I will praise thee. Verse 14, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Marvelous are thy works, and that my soul knoweth right well. My substance was not hidden from thee when I was made in secret and curiously wrought in the lowest parts of the earth. Thine eyes did not, I'm sorry, let me read again. Thine eyes did see my substance, yet being unperfect, and in thy book all my members were written, which in continuance were fashioned when as yet there was none of them. So God formed, what it's saying is that God formed that child, and God's breathed life into that child. So to get in today's times, you have the egg and the sperm come together, fertilize, that becomes a human being.
God formed you in your mother's womb.
Right. And right then, that's life. Right at conception, that's life. And what the scripture says, this is in the King James Version. If you'll read in other versions, it may be easier to understand. But what it's saying is that God is the one who created us, and that he knew us right from the beginning. And so God is the one who provides life, and we have no business taking life like abortion does. And so, again, our culture may say one thing, but just because, there's a saying, just because it's law doesn't make it right.
That's right.
And so we need to go by God's law rather than the government law.
That's right.
Even though it's, quote, legal. But that's not the case.
Right.
And so what was the word you used earlier before we went on the air? It's horrific.
Horrific.
What's going on with the abortion issue?
It's horrific.
And
it's out of control.
Well, it is out of control. And then we have so many men and women sitting in our churches that had abortions in their past. My wife had an abortion in her past. And so they're sitting there with the shame and the guilt, the secret sin. And even though now maybe they had the abortion before they knew the Lord, and some knew the Lord, but they operate out of fear. And so unless the church presents it from the pulpit, these men and women are going to sit there privately feeling low self-worth, not feeling worthy to get involved in the callings and the giftings that God's given them. I hope that makes sense. And so the church needs to speak up and say, God forgives. There's the unforgivable sin is turning our back on the Lord and going the other way.
That's right.
But not abortion. God has already forgiven that man, that woman, that couple. but they have a hard time receiving it. So we want to minister to them, and that's a big part of what pregnancy centers do all over the world, is provide abortion recovery. And we have got to address that. No matter what country you are watching this,
it's still pro-life. God is pro-life.
He is pro-life.
And I had found out from the chiropractor that, 18 days after conception, there's a heartbeat detected.
And isn't it wonderful?
18, not 4 months.
No.
18 days. The spine comes first.
Yeah.
All the electrical impulses.
Yeah.
And then
and it's interesting in Hebrew.
18 days.
In Hebrew, 18 what is that?
It means to life.
To life.
It means,
so
and I also heard, I also did research that at the moment of conception, scientists have found there's a flash of light.
Amen.
When
That's
the
right.
egg and the, I think we've spoken about when you were on my program before. Remember at the moment of conception, when the egg meets the sperm meets the egg,
there's a spark.
There's a spark
and
of light.
there's a video on that. There's something on probably on YouTube.
There's a flash of light.
Flash of light. Amen.
Because
that is the light of Christ.
That's right.
That's the light of life.
That's right. The light of life coming in. People say, oh, maybe people got raped, or maybe, the devil can't give life. All life comes from God, no matter how. All spirits are in heaven with God. They're in the Father God. And then they come into the earth. They go into a male and female. They go into the sperm meeting the egg.
Yeah.
Hopefully.
The zygote. It's called the zygote.
Right,
When it's
zygote.
fertilized egg.
Right.
Yes.
And then it becomes flesh.
Yeah.
That spirit is wrapped around with flesh, 9 months, and God does his wonders. We can't even imagine what goes on inside. The Bible says, how can anyone figure out how bones grow in the womb? Not only bones, electrolytes, DNA, cells, organs, heartbeat. I mean, it's,
That's why the
you
scripture
can't even
says,
imagine.
That's why the scripture says
making
that
a
we are
human
fearful.
being.
I know, and it says we are fearfully and wonderfully made.
And another human being housing a whole human being in her body.
The separate DNA.
And
Two separate beings.
That's miraculous.
Yeah.
Okay. And so vote for those that are pro-life.
Pro-life, pro-family.
Right, pro-family.
And especially the biblical worldview.
And stand up. Open your mouth.
Take a stand. Absolutely.
Open your mouth. You can get, do you need volunteers? Is that something?
Yeah, we could use volunteers. Yeah, we love to have. We love medical professionals.
Okay. Medical professionals.
Nurses.
Okay.
And we've had doctors over the years that have volunteered and worked with us, partnered for us. And then we have counselors, and we train women to be client advocates, to minister to the women of all ages. Our average age, by the way, who come in to one of our medical clinics is 21. It isn't just teenagers. Most abortions are performed on women. Yeah. 20 to 25, over 30% of all abortions are in that age group. Then under 20, another 20%, and up to 30, probably 75% of all abortions between teen to 30. So that's the age group that are being marketed through the media and through our culture. So we need to be bold. We need to be bold and respectful. But you could hear someone in your family or a relative or someone you work with that's dealing with an unplanned pregnancy. You speak up and you say, hey, there's a pregnancy center nearby, and I'll give you the address and phone number, and you go see them, and rather than go to the abortion clinic. And here at this group, and this is all over the country, all over the world, we provide free pregnancy tests, free sonograms, free STD testing. And most pregnancy centers will do that. And when that happens, now they come on to our holy ground, because we pray each and every day, and they feel such a peace when they come on into one of our clinics, and again, other pregnancy centers, and that client advocate has already been prayed up. The Holy Spirit then just takes over. We love on them, so you got to be approachable. We love on them, calm them down. That's what we're there. We're there to stabilize them, calm them down, provide solutions, that there are alternatives to abortion. And they are either parent or placing for adoption.
And no cost to them.
And no cost to them.
So no stress.
And we work with adoption agencies and things like that. So one of the major reasons that these women and couples have abortions because they don't have the support.
Right, they don't have the money, they don't know how they're going to support the child.
It's money, but the big thing is emotional support. And so we provide that. And we've continued working with moms and couples even after they've had their children, and doing ongoing discipleship and all these things. So
Tremendous.
there is an answer, and that is do it God's way. Okay? Don't do it your way, do it your ways. And that's what we're trying to share with them. And thank you for having us on.
Of course, my honor.
To be able to share this.
The Lord said to do it, and you said that you train counselors, so do they have to have a degree?
No.
Just a heart
this is
of
lay
love,
heart of love,
and
love for the Lord.
So if you're in the Tampa Bay area, and you love the Lord, and you want to get involved as a volunteer, you will be trained by this man and woman of God and his staff. He and Terry, his beautiful wife, they oversee. And then you can help these women in trauma. You say, oh, I don't know what I'm supposed to do. I want to work for God, but nobody lets me work. Nobody wants my help. Well, now's an opportunity. How can they reach you, my friend?
That's why even though we're on both sides of the bay here in Tampa Bay,
Right. St. Petersburg and Tampa.
Call this number. It's 727-545-1234. Okay? That's our Pinellas Park clinic. 727-545-1234, and we'll be able to provide any questions that you have, answers any questions that you have, and any of those of you who would like to participate, partner, whether it's helping one-on-one or donor, partnering with us financially, call that number, and we would love to talk with you.
And let's talk about the Walk for Life. You do a couple times a year? 2 times a year?
Beside the benefit dinners that we do, in the spring, we do the Walk for Life.
Let's talk about that.
And we have the largest Walk for Life in the country.
You like to walk?
Yeah.
This is your
This is
chance.
great. Because what we do, there's over 150 churches in the greater Tampa Bay area that participate. And secondly, we have corporate sponsors. And those corporate sponsors, anywhere from $1,500 to $7,500, and it's a write-off, because we're a 501c3.
If you're a corporation, get your hand in saving lives.
Yes.
God will bless you big.
Big time. And so with the corporate sponsorship and the churches being involved, what we do is we have a liaison from every church, a representative, and they go back to their church, and we give supplies. There's prizes that you can win. You raise $1,500. Actually $300. You win this prize. $500. This prize $1,500 goes all the way up, and you win prizes. But the main thing is $1,500 saves a child, and I always share with people
$1,500
how many children would your church like to save this year?
$1,500 saves a child.
Isn't that amazing?
That's amazing to me. A life you can't.
Yeah. And so there's churches who they set a goal of saving 5 children, 10 children. And then you've got some churches who are raising $50,000, $60,000, $70,000, and the church doesn't raise it. You have individuals who are pledge raising walkers from that church, and they go either through email or on social media, and they get pledges, and then most of them have a goal of, hey, let's save at least 1 baby.
It saves a child and a mother.
And a mom.
You tell them the gospel.
Oh, we share the gospel, and throughout our family of ministries, Ann, there are on the average about 2 babies saved each day that we're open, and throughout our outreach of ministries, multiple ministries, we share the gospel in every area. There are about 2 salvations each day.
Isn't that wonderful?
And
if you are always, I meet people, I don't know what I'm supposed to do, I want to do this, this would be a wonderful opportunity for you to be involved, beloved of God.
Amen.
To be around girls, young women, even, it doesn't matter how old you are, okay? And be taught how to counsel. Everybody knows how to love. How rewarding would that be on a volunteer basis? Just being there for someone in trauma. I guarantee you, if what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. That comes from Ephesians 6:8. Ephesians 6:8 says, whatever good thing you do for any man, whether they be bond or free, the same you shall receive from the Lord. So God will bless your family as you tend to life.
Yeah.
So pray about it, or just show up, call the number, and if it's not for you, it's not for you, but you may like it.
Yeah.
And,
Get your
rescuing
church,
somebody.
Yeah, get your church involved. Those of you in the greater Tampa Bay area, get the church involved. Call that number, and we'll get you to the right department. Yeah. And then you go ahead, and your church then will be part of the huge partnership of helping bring an end to abortion right here in the Tampa Bay area. And remember, the state of Florida, this is sad, the state of Florida is the third largest provider of abortions in America. California, New York, Florida, we had over 70,000 abortions last year. 1 out of every 4 babies is being aborted here in Florida. And then Texas is the next. And so we've got to take a stand for righteousness, taking a stand for life. And it goes back to the Holocaust. My mother survived the Holocaust, World War II. We have a Holocaust here in this nation that's continuing. Now, the numbers over the years have come down, but there's still 1 million abortions a year.
It's terrible.
That's just not right.
A million
here
babies.
Here in America.
What gives anybody a right to take a life? Nobody has that right.
No.
Nobody has the right to take a life. God didn't give that to anybody.
And just because it's legal doesn't make it right.
And if the mother made a mistake, have the baby.
Yeah.
Give it up for adoption.
Place for adoption.
You don't have to raise it. You don't have to have the financial burden. If you come to New Life Solutions or any reputable, New Life Solutions doesn't charge the mother. Just have the baby. You won't have to pay for anything. You just have to, 9 months goes by, and then you give it up for adoption.
Well,
so
we work with adoption agencies. Adoption agencies will help that mom with any of those expenses.
Right.
So
okay.
that's
it's
what
a win-win to save your baby's life.
Yeah.
And you may, when you start feeling life in your belly, when a woman starts feeling that baby kicking in her belly, she may change her mind.
Yeah.
And when she sees the baby on the ultrasound and sees that little heartbeat, and even when she gives birth, she may change her mind. A lot of people have chosen to give up their babies, and when the baby's born, they change their mind. Because they see their body, they see their flesh of their flesh, and they see that beautiful child.
Even on the sonogram, on the ultrasound, that mom will fall in love with her child 9 out of 10 times.
And she feels it beating in her belly. Goodness. She feels it moving in her belly.
Yes.
The DNA, they're connected, bone to her bone, flesh of her flesh.
Yeah.
So don't make hasty decisions. And if you're dealing with someone who that wants to get an abortion, or a teenager that's promiscuous, contact this number. What's the number again?
727-545-1234. And you call that from out of country too, and we can help you. We helped start the first pregnancy center in Puerto Rico.
See, wonderful.
They had 10 abortion clinics down there. So 3 years ago, we started working with Daisy and Joseph Pardo, and Daisy's from there. That's her home. That's her home. And now there's a pregnancy center, soon to be a second one.
See?
And so it's all about saving lives. It's all about honoring God.
That's right.
We're being faithful.
Honoring God and saving lives. I guess the most important form of birth control is don't have sex outside of marriage.
Right.
Okay, that's the number one. God says
saving yourself from marriage.
God says don't do it for reasons, not because He doesn't want people to have fun. There's a lot of consequences to that. There's safety within the marriage. If someone gets raped, contact the station. If you're in a marriage and you're in an abusive marriage and you get pregnant, contact this New Life Solution. Okay, the ministry. I said stations. Contact the New Life Solution, because God is about life. Let your baby live. God says in Deuteronomy 30, I put before you life and death. Therefore choose life, that you and your seed may live. Choose life. You will never regret choosing life. God always provides, beloved of God. We can't put a price on financial responsibility when it comes to the life of a child. There isn't any price for a life of a human being. Not even close to.
No, I can tell you, and we work with others in the pro-life movement. A great story is a good friend, Phyllis, is a sidewalk counselor. And this is a few years ago. but she stopped this young lady from going into the abortion clinic nearby in St. Petersburg, actually, and says, before you go in there, let me just take you to lunch, and there's other options. And she could tell she was very distraught. And the young lady who's early 20s, married in a very abusive relationship, said, okay. So they went and had lunch, and then Phyllis says, right up the street is New Life Solutions, and they provide all these free services. So she brought her up there. Our nurse was there, and we have nurses trained in sonography, and that ultrasound showed that this woman was carrying twins.
Oh my!
And
what
so
when
she left, she was still unsure what she was going to do. That's how abusive her marriage was. That's how confused she was. So we loved on her, we prayed with her, and we tried to keep in touch with her. She wouldn't respond. That's not unusual. Well, it was like 7 months later, because she was a couple months pregnant. 7 months later, we get a call from our friend Sue, who is an adoption specialist, and she goes, I have this woman here. She's ready to give birth to these twins, and she said that she visited your place, and you all not convinced her, loved on her, and she has chosen life, but she's also chosen the place for adoption. And so one of our people went to the hospital when she had the babies, and met this couple. He's a heart surgeon, and his wife who wanted to adopt one child. And when Sue called them and says, "How would you like to have two?" And they said, "Absolutely." So those twin girls, Gabriella and Sienna, have been raised in a godly home.
Beautiful. By
a mom and a dad who couldn't have children, but because of our intervention. It started with Phyllis, the sidewalk counselor.
Can you imagine
brought her here
if she didn't go to you, she probably would have aborted those children.
Absolutely.
So she remembered how you loved on her.
Yeah. So that's
tremendous.
Why all of us in the pro-life movement have been raised up by God.
Yeah.
There's wonderful godly sidewalk counselors. Scott down in St. Pete is doing a wonderful work. Those over in Tampa, and again all over the country. 40 Days for Life is going on right now, and so we need to do things right. We need to honor God. We walk by faith and not by sight.
Yes.
Don't look to the left or to the right. Abortion is never the right answer.
Right.
That's why we're called New Life Solutions.
Right.
There's alternative to abortion, and that is placing for adoption or parenting, and we're there as a support.
Right.
So get behind your local pregnancy center.
Yes.
And make a difference. We want to make abortion unthinkable.
Yes.
Yes. And we can do it. Your audience and all the others throughout the country.
Yes.
Yeah, throughout the world.
Yes.
God uses, He uses His remnant to transform the world.
That hear His voice. So.
That's right. That hear His voice.
That hear His voice.
And so we're part of the remnant. Those of you who are watching, probably part of that remnant.
Right, you hear His voice, beloved.
So stand up, speak up, and take a stand for what the Scriptures tell us. And we've got Proverbs 31:8. It says to look out for those who are facing death, and look out for justice, to make sure that someone is taking a stand for them.
Right.
And speaking up for them, intervening for them. We're defending them.
They have a right to live.
Yeah, that's right. And so we're going to be judged.
Yeah, we're
on whether we take that
judged.
stand for life, take a stand for righteousness, take a stand for justice.
Correct.
We're going to be judged on that.
Correct.
So just do it His way. Don't do it your way. Do it Yahweh's. And that way we have a peaceful heart.
Yeah.
We plant, we water, God brings the increase.
We always have a soft pillow when we do right. So
yes.
We always have a soft. Tell us about. That's so wonderful. It's so wonderful what these people do. He and beautiful Terry, his wife, and all the people that God surrounds them. There's
Lots of
so
staff.
many, lots of staff, and you could be part of that if you want to do something for the Lord. No, you don't have to be there every day. You could be one day,
Yeah.
or, you know,
Oh,
around,
yes.
around your schedule. You're not committing to a full-time, a whole, you
And
may
even
want to.
even the nurses,
you
like we're
know.
saying that, we have
yeah.
nurses that will work us one day, some are 3 days a
Right,
week.
right, right.
And we'll train them in
Yeah.
limited
You
sonography.
volunteer your time and let God enrich your spirit.
What a great way to give back
and know,
to society.
Right, what a great way to give back to society. So this has been so wonderful. We have probably around 10 minutes left. Tell us about November 7th and the 9th. What are we going to do there?
Yes.
What are you going to do there?
Well, at our annual benefit dinners, we call them, and they're free to the public. There's no charge for coming and joining us. And Ann mentioned it earlier that Thursday, November 7th, 2019.
What day is it?
Will be in Tampa.
Okay.
So interesting enough, Bob Goff is our speaker. Many people know him that he's written a few books. One is Love Does, very much into missions. He's an attorney out of California. He's a delight. He'll have you laughing, crying, and hearing the truth about the importance of missions. And then he's written another book called Everybody Always. So looking to ways to pour into your community and into this world. So that's going to be on Thursday, November 7th at the Jewish Community Center.
In Tampa.
You and I in Tampa, Florida. And you and I, coming from Jewish backgrounds, I just love it. I think it's ironic.
I might be at both of them.
You need to be at that one.
At that one.
And
being Jewish, being with the Yiddish imamas. They'll all
right.
be at the community center.
And it's a Glacier Community Center.
Because they're about life.
All the way.
Torah teaches life.
Torah teaches life, absolutely.
Torah teaches life.
And then on Saturday, we're going to be at the famous Coliseum down in St. Petersburg.
Yes.
And it's a beautiful venue. We'll have about 800 to 900 people there.
Beautiful.
We'll have about 500 people in Tampa.
Okay.
All the
what time?
It'll be 6 o'clock in Tampa, 6:30 in St. Petersburg, and
for address?
It's business casual.
You want them to call, or you want to give?
No, they have to call. You have to call
RSVP.
to RSVP.
Because it's a dinner.
It is. I'm trying to see what is the best number to call, because if here it says the best number to call is 727 216 1410 extension 401. I'm going to repeat that, and that is 727 216 1410 extension 401, and that's Heather. She's in our special
She's the lady
special
in charge.
Events department,
right?
And so that is going to be great. And then if you want to text, it's text benefit to 797979. Benefit to 797979. And then as far as if you want to do an email, okay, dinner.newlifesolutions.org. That's dinner.newlifesolutions.org. And over in Tampa, the Brian Glazer Jewish Community Center is at 522 Howard Avenue in Tampa. North Howard. Thank you for doing that.
Of course.
Yeah, and it's business professional there, while over in St. Petersburg is at the Historic Coliseum at 535 4th Avenue North in St. Petersburg, and that's more semi-formal.
Beautiful.
So
you get
both
dressed
of
up.
them just beautiful evening.
You get dressed up like a wedding, and I've been.
It is.
And it's
It
a
is
wonderful,
great.
wonderful evening
Great.
because people are there. There are a lot of professionals there. There's doctors, lawyers,
yeah.
a lot of doctors, and businessmen, and saints of God that love life, and ministers are there. Their wives are there. It's a high class. It's a classy, sophisticated event for the glory of God to save babies.
Yeah.
Look
For
at
everyone.
this for everyone, and you will love it. And bring an offering, something to put in.
$1,500 would help save a child.
Yeah,
How many babies would you like to save?
How many babies? Look at that beautiful little boy and his mother.
Yeah.
Look at that little doll. You know, you
Yeah.
can't put a price on life.
No.
If he would have been aborted, he would have never been on the earth.
Yeah.
But just think of what he could do on the earth. And you could have a part on it, beloved of God.
Yeah. Amen.
So
Amen.
what else we have about 7 minutes.
Okay.
Would you like to,
Yeah.
anything else, or?
Well, I think what we need to look at is, I wanted to share, just briefly on, recently I was in a plane
Okay.
plane crash.
We'll have you back where we could share.
We'll share more detail, but what I want to share is, as we come to a close, is that as believers, we can expect two things in life, two major things in life.
Listen.
Number one is Satan attacking you. Count on it. And number two is God blessing you. Those two things.
God bless
Bottom
you.
line, Satan attacks you because you are taking a stand for innocent children. See, God, isn't it interesting? God sent Jesus on earth, our Savior, as what? A baby.
As a baby.
So the Lord,
in his mother's womb.
in his mother's womb. So the Lord loves babies. They're sacred. He's our Father. He's our Creator. And so He sent our Savior as an innocent child. And so Satan hates babies. So he hates anyone who is defending innocent children. So do you see that? And so here we are, those of you who are listening and watching, and you are, quote, pro-life, you pro-Bible, pro-God. We have got to stand in a gap for these innocent children. And because of that, number one, what was the thing? Count on Satan attacking you, but also count on God blessing you. And when you go into life, I was a psychotherapist for a number of years, and when you go into life with a realistic expectation, there's so much joy and peace in your spirit. Yeah. So I went down in a crash. I had the injuries that I had, but God. I love the Lord more than ever. I don't know why He allowed that to happen. And one of the three of us died, went to heaven. Oh, and so Lord. I don't know why, but you know what? I'm going to love God even more than ever. I'm going to be more involved with the pro-life movement than ever before.
Saving babies,
and,
and God calls Himself our Father.
Oh, He's our Father.
So He
knows children. Better.
He loves children.
He loves children. And
He loves children. If you're a father, you love children. So He loves babies. He loves children. He loves pre-teenagers. He loves all of us. Oh my gosh, He's our Father. And
so the bottom line is just know
Jesus is
that
Son.
When we take that stand for life, we'll be attacked, but God is greater. And there's nothing more fulfilling than to be in a perfect will of God, and especially for His creation.
So wonderful.
Those children, those innocent children, and ministering to their moms with the gospel.
How wonderful is that? This has been wonderful.
Thank you. I've enjoyed it.
This has been absolutely wonderful. Contact information, please.
Yes, New Life Solutions, and you can call 727-545-1234. Great number.
That's right, 725-1234.
Well, 545.
Wait, 54, okay, again, I'm sorry.
Okay, 727-545-1234.
Okay, and get involved, find out RSVP, come to the dinner. You can sponsor a table. How many at a table? 4?
10.
10 at a table. Bring your friends, bring your pastor, bring his wife.
Yep.
It'll be good to network. Like I said, there's lots of pastors there, there's doctors there, lawyers there, there's professionals
from
there.
all different backgrounds.
All different backgrounds. Everybody.
White collar, blue collar,
that's right.
collar.
That's right. That love God.
Love
and the meal is, I remember the tiramisu.
The food's good.
The food
is
good.
We do everything with excellence.
But you meet wonderful, wonderful people, beloved of God.
Great
Thank you so much for this hour. Showshannah Rose Radio program. I'm Ann Finkelman. If you like this interview, how could you not? It's all about life. It's a wonderful man of God. Hit the thumbs up. It helps circulate this interview around the world. YouTube will circulate around the world. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's free to you, beloved of God. And hit the bell. We won't bug you. We won't beg for money. Freely we receive, freely give. We want to enrich you in the things of God. And so thank you so much for every time we load a video, you'll be notified. Thank you so much for your time, for the company, and taking an hour of your time. I realize you could do many other things with your time, but you've chosen to spend it with us for to life. Take your cup. Come on, pick your cup
There
up,
we
my
go.
friend, and
To
say,
life.
to life.
To life.
To life.
L'chaim.
L'chaim. To life. And then you drink. To life. Save lives. Even if you can't get involved, if you're out of the area, get involved in your local fellowship. Get involved somewhere and pray that God would save babies. You can pray. Everybody can pray. I love you more and more, Aunt Finkelman. I'll see you soon. Keep watching, okay? Love you. Bye.